In a galaxy that knows no peace, where countless threats lurk in every shadow, and where even the most fleeting of weaknesses invites annihilation, the Imperium of Man endures through sheer will and relentless sacrifice. At its heart lies a truth often overlooked by the grand narratives of heroic space marines and the inscrutable machinations of the Adeptus Mechanicus. It is not the genetically enhanced warriors or godlike primarchs who sustain the Emperor's vision. It is the ordinary human soldiers of the Astra Militarum, known commonly as the Imperial Guard, who bear the greatest burden. The Imperial Guard, often referred to as the Hammer of the Emperor, represents the largest military organization in human history. While the Adeptus Astartes are celebrated for their valor and the titans of the Collegia Titanica inspire awe, it is the uncountable regiments of the Guard who form the Imperium's backbone. With billions of soldiers raised from countless worlds, they face horrors that would crush even the stoutest of hearts. Yet, they march forward, not because of genetic superiority or divine blessing, but through sheer duty, faith, and discipline. This story is not merely about their victories or their sacrifices, it is about understanding why they are indispensable. Why is the Imperial Guard, seemingly composed of mere mortals, the cornerstone of humanity's survival? The answer lies not just in their overwhelming numbers, but in the resilience of the human spirit they embody and the unique role they play in the Emperor's grand design. Through this exploration, we will peel back the layers of the Astra Militarum. From their humble beginnings in the Unification Wars to their unyielding resolve in the face of Xenos horrors and Chaos incursions, we will uncover the truths that cement their place as the unbreakable shield of humanity. Their story is one of grit, sacrifice, and unsung heroism, a story that, in many ways, mirrors the Imperium itself. The Imperial Guard does not rely on advanced technology or divine intervention to hold the line. Instead, they wield lasguns, bayonets, and tanks like the Leman Russ with unrelenting determination. Their leaders are often flawed, their strategies sometimes desperate. And yet, their victories are frequent enough to keep the Imperium from collapsing. Every soldier in the Guard knows they are but one cog in a machine of immense scale, yet their collective effort becomes the hammer that smashes the Emperor's foes. To understand the Astra Militarum is to understand the Imperium's philosophy, survival at all costs, no matter how brutal or uncompromising the methods. In the coming sections, we will delve into the key players who define the Guard, the historical forces that shape them, and the tactics and technologies that make them formidable. Along the way, we will meet the heroes and villains who rise within their ranks, examine the mysteries that surround their role, and consider the eternal question: why does the Imperium rely so heavily on these mortal soldiers in a galaxy of gods and monsters? Prepare yourself to step into the ranks of the Imperial Guard. The truth of their importance will be laid bare, a truth forged in the fires of war and tempered by the sacrifices of countless lives. For in the grim darkness of the far future, it is not the exceptional but the ordinary who must carry the weight of humanity's survival. The Astra Militarum, vast and sprawling, draws its strength not just from numbers, but from the sheer diversity and specialization of its forces. Its structure is as intricate as the Imperium itself, reflecting the countless worlds it protects and the multitude of threats it faces. The key players within the Imperial Guard are as varied as the galaxy they inhabit, ranging from battle-hardened regiments to legendary commanders who inspire millions. At the foundation of the Guard are the regiments, the lifeblood of its military might. Each regiment is raised from a specific world, reflecting the culture, environment, and combat traditions of its home. Cadians, once the staunch defenders of the Cadian Gate, are revered for their discipline and tactical acumen. Though Cadia itself lies in ruins, its legacy endures as former Cadian soldiers continue to lead and train other regiments. On the other hand, the Catacan jungle fighters hail from a death world where every plant and creature is a potential killer. They are unparalleled in guerrilla warfare, their raw strength and survival instincts making them fearsome adversaries in any terrain. Krieg, a world synonymous with attrition and sacrifice, provides the infamous death corps of Krieg. These grim soldiers are known for their unwavering loyalty and willingness to endure any hardship, often deployed in the most hellish war zones. Conversely, the Vostroyan Firstborn, with their archaic uniforms and heirloom weaponry, bring an air of tradition and honor to the battlefield, their loyalty to the Emperor reinforced by centuries of service. While these regiments are the visible face of the Guard, its leaders form the backbone of its operational success. At the top are the Lord Castellans and War Masters, individuals tasked with coordinating entire campaigns across multiple systems. Perhaps the most famous of these was Lord Solar Macarius, a brilliant tactician whose conquests expanded the Imperium's borders in a manner unmatched since the Great Crusade. His ability to inspire loyalty and his mastery of strategy remain legendary, though his methods and the strain of his campaigns left lasting scars on the Imperium. At the ground level, Commissars play a pivotal role. These grim enforcers of discipline ensure that no soldier falters, their presence both a source of fear and reassurance. Commissar Yarrick, the hero of Armageddon, stands as a symbol of what a Commissar can achieve. His indomitable will and refusal to yield in the face of the Orc warlord Gazkul Thraka have made him a legend, feared by enemies and revered by allies. The tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus are another essential player in the Astra Militarum. While not soldiers themselves, they ensure the operation of the Guard's war machines, from the omnipresent Lehman Russ tanks to the mighty Baneblades. Their arcane rituals and technological expertise make them indispensable, bridging the gap between the crude industrial might of the Imperium and the advanced but poorly understood technologies it wields. Adding to the complexity are the Psychers of the Guard, sanctioned by the Adeptus Astra Telepathica. These individuals, though fragile and often mistrusted, can turn the tide of battle through their abilities to manipulate the warp. However, their presence is a double-edged sword, as any misuse of their powers risks catastrophic warp breaches or demonic incursions. Behind the scenes, the Departamento Munitorum orchestrates the logistical operations that sustain the Guard's campaigns. This vast bureaucracy ensures that regiments are supplied with weapons, armor, and food, a task of immense scale and complexity. Without their efforts, even the most elite regiments would falter, highlighting the importance of administrative and logistical excellence within the Imperium's war machine. Lastly, one cannot overlook the civilian conscripts and auxiliary forces often pressed into service alongside the Guard. These individuals, though untrained and poorly equipped, bolster the Guard's ranks in times of dire need. Their sacrifices remind us that the Astra Militarum is not just a military organization, but a reflection of the Imperium itself, where countless lives are given willingly, or otherwise, for the greater good of humanity. The key players of the Imperial Guard represent a tapestry of cultures, ideologies, and strategies. Their combined strength and diversity allow the Imperium to wage war on a galactic scale, facing enemies of unimaginable power and variety. Whether a soldier stands as part of a storied regiment or fights under the shadow of a towering commissar, each player in the Astra Militarum serves a vital role in the Emperor's grand design. Without them, the Imperium would crumble, for it is their collective might that holds back the endless tide of darkness. The origins of the Imperial Guard trace back to a time before the Imperium itself, rooted in the chaotic and transformative period of the Unification Wars on Terra. In those ancient days, the Emperor of Mankind sought to unify the warring techno-barbarian tribes under one banner, forging the foundations of what would become humanity's greatest empire. The early armies of the Emperor were the Thunder Warriors, genetically enhanced warriors who crushed all opposition with brutal efficiency. However, their purpose was temporary, designed to secure Terra's unification before giving way to a more structured and sustainable military force. The true precursor to the Imperial Guard emerged during the Great Crusade, when the Emperor turned his gaze outward to the stars. The newly formed Imperium needed vast armies to reclaim the scattered remnants of humanity. While the Space Marine Legion spearheaded the reconquest, the Emperor recognized the necessity of a massed force of ordinary humans to hold and govern the territories they reclaimed. Thus, the Imperial Army was born, a sprawling organization that combined ground troops, fleet assets, and logistical support under a unified command. The Imperial Army operated as a diverse and flexible force. Its soldiers were drawn from countless worlds, each bringing their unique traditions, fighting styles, and technologies. From the disciplined ranks of Terran recruits to the fierce warriors of recently reclaimed planets, the Imperial Army exemplified the Imperium's ability to harness the diversity of its domain. However, this diversity also posed challenges, as cultural and ideological differences sometimes led to friction and inefficiencies. The Horus Heresy would prove to be a turning point in the evolution of the Imperial Guard. The betrayal of War Master Horus and the subsequent galactic civil war exposed the vulnerabilities of the Imperial Army. Entire divisions of the army turned traitor, aligning with Horus and Chaos. Their defection, combined with the devastating toll of the conflict, shattered the organization and made it clear that a more robust and tightly controlled structure was needed. In the aftermath of the heresy, the surviving loyalist forces of the Imperial Army were disbanded and reorganized. This reformation was part of the wider changes introduced by the primarch Robert Guilliman in the form of the Codex Astartes. To prevent any single entity from accumulating too much power, the Imperial Army was split into two distinct branches, the Astra Militarum, or Imperial Guard, and the Imperial Navy. This separation ensured that no single commander could wield the combined might of ground and space forces, reducing the risk of another large-scale rebellion. The formation of the Astra Militarum marked a significant shift in the Imperium's military doctrine. Unlike the Imperial Army, the Guard was designed to operate as a decentralized force, with individual regiments drawn from specific planets and given distinct identities. This approach fostered loyalty to the Emperor and the Imperium while reducing the chances of large-scale insurrections. Each regiment was raised and equipped by its home world, resulting in an incredible variety of fighting forces. Some regiments, like the disciplined Cadians, became known for their advanced training and strategic prowess, while others, like the savage warriors of Catachan, specialized in unconventional warfare. The Astra Militarum's creation also marked the formalization of its bureaucratic backbone, the Departamento Munitorum. This vast and labyrinthine organization became responsible for overseeing the recruitment, supply, and deployment of the Guard's countless regiments. The Munitorum's efforts ensured that the Guard could sustain campaigns across the galaxy, even in the face of logistical challenges that would daunt lesser empires. Despite its roots in the Imperial Army, the Astra Militarum quickly developed its own identity. Its reliance on massed infantry, combined arms tactics, and overwhelming firepower became the cornerstone of its doctrine. Unlike the elite Space Marines, who relied on precision and speed, the Guard embraced the philosophy of attrition and overwhelming force. This approach, while costly in terms of human lives, proved effective against the myriad threats the Imperium faced. The Imperial Guard's creation was not just a response to the failures of the past, but a recognition of the Imperium's grim reality. In a galaxy teeming with Xenos horrors, heretical uprisings, and demonic incursions, the Imperium needed a military force that could endure endless war. The Astra Militarum was designed to be just that, a vast and inexhaustible engine of war, fueled by the unyielding faith and determination of its soldiers. From its humble beginnings in the Unification Wars to its reformation in the wake of the Horus Heresy, the Imperial Guard has evolved into a cornerstone of the Imperium's survival. Its creation was shaped by the lessons of history, the demands of galactic warfare, and the indomitable will of the Emperor. Though the cost of its existence is measured in uncountable lives, the Guard remains humanity's greatest bulwark against the darkness. The evolution of the Imperial Guard is a tale of adaptation, expansion, and relentless perseverance. From its initial formation to the present day, the Astra Militarum has undergone profound transformations, driven by the unending conflicts and ever-changing challenges faced by the Imperium. Each stage of its development reflects not only the Guard's capacity for survival, but also the resilience of humanity in the face of overwhelming odds. In the aftermath of the Horus Heresy, the first significant phase of the Imperial Guard's development began with the enforcement of Robot Guilliman's reforms. By dividing the Imperial Army into the Astra Militarum and the Imperial Navy, Guilliman laid the groundwork for a more stable and reliable military structure. This separation ensured that no single commander could control both ground and fleet forces, a crucial safeguard against rebellion. The restructuring also decentralized command, with regiments raised and controlled by individual planets under the oversight of the Departamento Munitorum. This shift encouraged the creation of regiments with unique cultural and tactical identities, a hallmark of the Guard's diversity. The early years of the Astra Militarum were marked by consolidation and reorganization. Regiments with proven loyalty during the heresy, such as the Solar Auxilia, provided a template for the new structure. These elite units were phased out in favor of regiments raised from across the Imperium, creating a force that reflected the Imperium's vast scale. This period also saw the establishment of standardized training doctrines and logistical systems, critical for coordinating the deployment of billions of soldiers across the galaxy. As the Great Scouring unfolded, the Guard faced its first true test. The remnants of Horus's forces scattered into the Eye of Terror, launching retaliatory raids against Imperial worlds. The Guard played a pivotal role in securing the newly established Imperium, fighting alongside the Adeptus Astartes to cleanse traitor strongholds and protect vulnerable systems. This era demonstrated the Guard's ability to operate on a galactic scale, reinforcing its reputation as the Imperium's primary bulwark against external and internal threats. The next major phase of the Guard's development coincided with the rise of the Xenos empires. During the Age of Apostasy, when internal corruption and heresy weakened the Imperium, the Astra Militarum faced its greatest crisis of cohesion. Rogue planetary governors and rebellious sectors tested the Guard's loyalty and resolve. Despite these challenges, the Guard adapted by implementing stricter oversight and refining its command structures. Commissars, already a feature of Guard regiments, became more prominent during this period, enforcing discipline and ensuring unwavering loyalty to the Emperor. The emergence of Orc-Wars and the return of ancient Xeno civilizations, such as the Necrons, marked the third stage of the Guard's evolution. Against these massive and unconventional threats, the Guard began to diversify its tactics further. Mechanized regiments, such as those specializing in Leman Russ battle tanks and Chimera transports, gained prominence. Artillery divisions were also expanded, with basilisks, manticores, and other heavy ordnance becoming essential tools for countering massed Xenos assaults. These adaptations allowed the Guard to fight wars of attrition on an unprecedented scale, leveraging their numerical superiority and industrial capacity to grind down even the most formidable enemies. The emergence of the Indomitus Crusade under the leadership of the resurrected Robot Guilliman signaled a new phase for the Astra Militarum. The Guard was tasked with holding the line in a galaxy split by the Cicatrix Maledictum, the massive warp rift that divided the Imperium in two. Guilliman's return brought renewed focus on improving the Guard's coordination with other branches of the Imperium's military. This included closer ties with the Adeptus Mechanicus for the development of new war machines and more streamlined logistical support from the Departamento Munitorum. Throughout its history, the Astra Militarum has been defined by its ability to endure. From the dark days following the Horus Heresy to the present era of constant conflict, the Guard has adapted to every challenge. Each stage of its evolution has been marked by hard lessons learned on countless battlefields, from the desolate trenches of Vrox to the burning hives of Armageddon. These milestones are not just records of war, but testaments to the determination and sacrifice of the billions who have fought and died for the survival of humanity. The story of the Imperial Guard is far from over. As the galaxy grows darker and the enemies of mankind grow stronger, the Astra Militarum will continue to evolve, proving that the strength of humanity lies not in its technology or its heroes, but in its sheer tenacity and refusal to yield. It is this unbreakable spirit that has carried the Guard through its history and will ensure its place as the backbone of the Imperium for millennia to come. Amid the countless wars fought by the Astra Militarum, the Siege of Vervunhive stands out as a defining event, not only for its scale, but for the demonstration of the Imperial Guard's resilience and adaptability. This pivotal battle occurred during the Sabbat Worlds Crusade, a prolonged campaign against the chaos-worshipping forces of the arch-enemy. Vervunhive, a sprawling hive city on the industrial world of Verkast, became the stage for a brutal siege that tested the mettle of both the defenders and the Astra Militarum reinforcements sent to save them. Vervunhive was a critical manufacturing hub, producing munitions and supplies essential to the Crusade's war effort. When the city came under attack from the chaos-corrupted armies of Pharazoica, another hive city on Vergast, the stakes became clear. If Vervunhive fell, the Imperium would lose a vital asset, and the Chaos forces would gain a foothold to spread their corruption further. The assault began with a devastating orbital bombardment that leveled large sections of the hive, followed by waves of enemy troops and war machines. One of the most critical moments of the siege was the arrival of Colonel Commissar Ibram Gaunt and his Tanith regiment. Known for their stealth and unconventional tactics, the Tanith played a crucial role in stabilizing the city's defenses. While other regiments held the walls and key choke points, the Tanith excelled in counter-infiltration operations, rooting out chaos saboteurs and preventing internal collapse. Gaunt's leadership became a beacon of hope for the beleaguered defenders, rallying them to hold the line against seemingly insurmountable odds. The turning point of the siege came when the Chaos forces unveiled their secret weapon, massive, demonically possessed war engines capable of breaching the hive's outer defenses. These monstrosities, combining the mechanical power of the Imperium's titans with the corrupting influence of the warp, wreaked havoc on the defenders. In response, the Astra Militarum coordinated a daring counterattack, utilizing basilisk artillery and specialized hunter-killer teams armed with melta-weapons. The cooperation between different regiments, each bringing their unique skills to bear, demonstrated the Guard's ability to adapt to even the most nightmarish threats. As the siege dragged on, the psychological toll on the defenders became evident. The Chaos forces employed terror tactics, including the use of corrupted psychers to project horrifying visions into the minds of the defenders. Here, the role of the Commissars proved invaluable. Commissars like Victor Hark maintained morale and discipline, executing deserters when necessary, but also inspiring the troops with their unshakable faith in the Emperor. These acts of leadership ensured that the lines held even as casualties mounted. The siege of Vervunhive was more than just a tactical victory. It was a testament to the Imperial Guard's ability to stand as the bulwark of humanity. The battle showcased the importance of interregimental cooperation, the critical role of leadership at all levels, and the unyielding spirit of ordinary soldiers fighting for survival. Though the cost in lives was staggering, the victory preserved a vital asset and struck a significant blow against the forces of chaos. In the grand narrative of the Astra Militarum, the siege of Vervunhive stands as a symbol of what the Guard represents. It is not just their firepower or numbers that define them, but their ability to endure the horrors of war, adapt to unprecedented challenges, and emerge victorious. This battle, like countless others, underscores why the Imperial Guard is rightly called the backbone of the Imperium. The impact of the Astra Militarum on the Warhammer 40k universe cannot be overstated. Their presence is woven into every facet of the Imperium's survival, shaping not only the galaxy's geopolitical landscape, but also the psychological and cultural fabric of humanity. While the Space Marines, Titans, and other elite forces capture the imagination of Imperial citizens and scholars, it is the Imperial Guard that shoulders the greatest burden of war, affecting both the Imperium's enemies and its own internal dynamics in profound ways. At its core, the Astra Militarum serves as the Imperium's primary line of defense and offense, a role that extends far beyond the battlefield. Their unrelenting campaigns against Xenos threats, chaos incursions, and rebellions ensure the Imperium's continued existence in an otherwise hostile galaxy. Without their sheer numbers and logistical might, the Imperium would lack the ability to project power across such a vast and fragmented realm. The Guard is not just a military force. It is a tool of survival, holding back annihilation through brute force and relentless attrition. One of the most immediate and significant impacts of the Guard is the containment of Xenos empires. In wars against the Orcs, the Tyranids, and the Tau, the Guard acts as the grinding force that halts their expansion. For example, in conflicts like the Octarius War or the campaigns against High Fleet Leviathan, the Guard's unyielding presence buys the Imperium the precious time needed to organize broader defenses or deploy more specialized forces. Their battles slow the advance of these existential threats, preventing them from overrunning critical systems. The price paid is staggering. Entire regiments wiped out, planets rendered uninhabitable, but the alternative would be far worse. The Astra Militarum's role extends beyond direct combat. As they are deployed across the galaxy, their actions shape the political landscape of the Imperium. A Guard regiment stationed on a rebellious world often serves as a reminder of Imperial authority, a living symbol of the Emperor's will. By crushing planetary uprisings or putting down heretical movements, the Guard reinforces the Imperium's dominion over its countless territories. This deterrent effect cannot be underestimated. For many planetary governors and local populations, the sight of a Guard fleet in orbit or the tramp of boots on their soil is enough to compel compliance, maintaining order without the need for full-scale war. The Guard's influence also extends into the Imperium's culture and collective psyche. The image of the Guardsman is deeply embedded in the stories and legends told across countless worlds. They are seen as both heroic defenders and tragic figures, ordinary men and women thrust into unimaginable horrors to protect their fellow citizens. This dual perception fosters a sense of unity and purpose among Imperial citizens who see the Guard as an extension of their own struggles. The sacrifices of the Guard inspire loyalty to the Imperium, reinforcing the notion that the Emperor's protection is worth any cost. Internally, the Astra Militarum has a profound effect on the worlds from which its regiments are drawn. Many planets are required to tie the portion of their population to the Guard, reshaping their demographics and economies. On some worlds, the demand for recruits is so high that entire generations are raised with the expectation of military service. This process reinforces the Imperium's feudal structure, ensuring that planetary populations remain tied to the war machine. However, it also creates a culture of sacrifice and duty, where serving in the Guard is seen as the ultimate act of loyalty to the Emperor. For those who survive their service, the Guard becomes a transformative experience. Veterans returning to their home worlds often bring with them not only scars, but also new skills, perspectives, and experiences that influence their societies. In some cases, these veterans become leaders or enforcers, carrying with them the discipline and indoctrination instilled by their service. In this way, the Guard's influence spreads even after the battles are over, seeding Imperial values into the worlds it protects. The enemies of the Imperium also feel the direct impact of the Astra Militarum. The sheer relentlessness of the Guard's campaigns leaves an indelible mark on those who oppose them. Orc warlords, accustomed to overwhelming their foes through brute strength, are often confounded by the Guard's ability to absorb losses and keep fighting. The Tau, with their emphasis on precision and strategy, struggle to match the Guard's willingness to trade millions of lives for victory. Even the forces of chaos, fueled by the dark powers of the warp, are reminded that mortal determination can defy even demonic fury. Despite its flaws and the staggering cost of its operations, the Imperial Guard is a force that shapes the galaxy in ways both obvious and subtle. On the surface, they are the blunt instrument of the Imperium, grinding down its enemies through sheer numbers and firepower. But beneath that, they are the glue that holds the Imperium together, a force that enforces its will, inspires its people, and reminds the galaxy that humanity, even in its darkest hour, will not yield. Without the Astra Militarum, the Imperium would be a shadow of itself, a fragmented collection of worlds unable to stand against the tide of annihilation. Through their sacrifices, the Guard ensures that humanity endures, no matter the cost. The Astra Militarum is defined by its unique characteristics, which distinguish it from other factions in the galaxy and make it an indispensable part of the Imperium's survival. Unlike the genetically modified Space Marines or the enigmatic forces of the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Guard's identity is rooted in its humanity. This fundamental aspect shapes its strategies, technologies, and philosophies, giving rise to distinctive elements that set it apart from any other military force in the Warhammer 40k universe. The Guard's regimental system is another defining feature. Unlike the centralized structures of the Adeptus Astartes or the Orcs' chaotic hordes, the Guard is composed of countless regiments, each raised from a specific world. These regiments bring with them the unique culture, fighting style, and traditions of their homeworlds. The jungle-hardened warriors of Catachan fight with a ferocity and independence suited to their deadly home, while the disciplined and tactically precise Cadians embody the strategic doctrines of the Imperium. This diversity not only enhances the Guard's adaptability, but also creates a tapestry of traditions and identities that enrich its lore. The diversity of the Guard extends to its tactics and doctrines. Unlike the highly specialized forces of other factions, the Guard relies on combined arms strategies to achieve victory. Infantry, tanks, artillery, and air support work in concert, creating a flexible and multifaceted approach to warfare. Infantry platoons form the backbone of most regiments, equipped with the ubiquitous lasgun, a weapon as reliable as it is unremarkable. While individual guardsmen may seem outmatched by the galaxy's horrors, their strength lies in their unity. In the Guard, a single soldier is part of a greater whole, with victory achieved through the combined effort of many. Artillery is another cornerstone of the Guard's unique approach to warfare. From the Earthshaker cannons of basilisks to the devastating volleys of Manticore missile launchers, the Guard wields long-range firepower with unmatched proficiency. This emphasis on artillery reflects the Imperium's preference for grinding down its enemies with overwhelming force, a strategy that sacrifices precision for sheer destructive power. The thunder of Imperial artillery is both a symbol of the Guard's might and a reminder of the devastating cost of its victories. Tanks and armored vehicles play a similarly crucial role in the Guard's identity. The Leman Russ battle tank, named after the primarch of the Space Wolves, is a workhorse of the Astra Militarum. Rugged, durable, and capable of delivering punishing firepower, the Leman Russ is a testament to the Guard's philosophy of mass production and battlefield utility. Other vehicles, such as the Chimera, serve as armored transports, while super-heavy tanks like the Baneblade dominate the battlefield with their unparalleled firepower. The Guard's reliance on armor ensures that it can adapt to a wide range of combat scenarios, from open-field engagements to urban sieges. One of the most unique aspects of the Guard is its reliance on faith and morale to sustain its soldiers. Unlike the genetically engineered resilience of the Adeptus Astartes, Guardsmen are ordinary humans who must rely on discipline, camaraderie, and belief in the Emperor to endure the horrors of war. The presence of Commissars within regiments underscores the importance of morale. These grim enforcers maintain order and inspire loyalty, often through fear, but also through acts of heroism. The Commissar's bolt pistol is as much a tool of discipline as it is a weapon of war, a stark reminder of the consequences of failure. The Guard's technological reliance also sets it apart. While many factions in the galaxy employ advanced or arcane technologies, the Astra Militarum wields weapons and vehicles that reflect the industrial might of the Imperium. The lasgun, often derided as a flashlight, is emblematic of this approach, mass-produced, reliable, and effective in the hands of a trained soldier. Similarly, the Guard's tanks and aircraft, while lacking the sophistication of Xenos technology, are designed for durability and ease of repair, allowing them to operate in the most hostile environments. Psykers also play a unique role in the Guard, albeit one fraught with danger. Sanctioned Psykers, trained by the Adeptus Astra Telepathica, serve as both a weapon and a liability. Their ability to manipulate the warp provides the Guard with a critical edge, whether through battlefield augury or devastating psychic attacks. However, the risk of warp breaches and demonic incursions means that Psykers are heavily monitored, their use a calculated gamble that underscores the Imperium's desperation. Perhaps the most compelling aspect of the Imperial Guard is its humanity. Unlike the genetically enhanced Astartes or the alien Tyranids, the soldiers of the Guard are ordinary men and women thrust into extraordinary circumstances. They fight not out of a desire for glory or conquest, but out of duty, faith, and the sheer will to survive. This vulnerability makes their victories all the more remarkable as they stand against gods and monsters armed with nothing but lasguns and courage. The Astra Militarum is not defined by perfection or invincibility, but by resilience and adaptability. Its unique aspects, massive scale, diverse regiments, combined arms tactics, and unwavering faith, make it the backbone of the Imperium's military might. In a galaxy of endless war, the Guard represents humanity's determination to endure, no matter the odds. It is this indomitable spirit that ensures the survival of both the Imperium and the countless worlds it protects. The Astra Militarum, though a force defined by its collective might, has produced numerous extraordinary individuals whose deeds and leadership have elevated them to legendary status. These figures, drawn from the ranks of the ordinary and the exceptional alike, serve as embodiments of the Guard's values: duty, resilience, and unwavering faith in the Emperor. From brilliant commanders to heroic rank-and-file soldiers, their stories inspire countless others to take up arms in humanity's defense. One of the most celebrated figures in the history of the Astra Militarum is Colonel Commissar Ibram Gaunt, leader of the Tanith 1st and only Regiment. Gaunt's career is a testament to the power of integrity and tactical brilliance. Born on the hive world of Vergast and orphaned at a young age, Gaunt was raised in the Schola Progenium, where he excelled both academically and in combat training. His rare dual appointment as both a colonel and a commissar reflects his unique ability to inspire loyalty and lead with both discipline and compassion. Under his command, the Tanith 1st and only, survivors of a planetary catastrophe, became one of the most effective light infantry regiments in the Guard. Gaunt's leadership in battles such as the Siege of Vervunhive and the Harador campaign cemented his reputation as a man who could achieve victory against impossible odds. Another legendary leader is Lord Castellan Ursarkar E. Creed, the stalwart commander of Cadia's defenses during the 13th Black Crusade. Creed's reputation as a master tactician and unwavering defender of the Cadian Gate is unparalleled. Known for his calm demeanor and ability to outmaneuver even the most cunning foes, Creed exemplifies the Guard's doctrine of perseverance through strategy. His ability to see beyond the obvious and deploy forces with almost preternatural foresight earned him the nickname Master of the Tactical Bluff. Creed's leadership during the defense of Cadia, where he held back the forces of Abaddon the Despoiler for as long as possible, ensured that the Imperium had time to prepare for the fallout of the planet's ultimate destruction. Though Cadia fell, Creed's legacy lives on as a symbol of defiance and hope. The Guard's ranks also include heroic figures from less celebrated backgrounds, such as Sly Marbo, a solitary warrior from the death world of Catachin. Marbo is the epitome of the Katakin jungle fighter's ethos, resourceful, deadly, and seemingly unstoppable. His feats on the battlefield are the stuff of legend, including single-handedly eliminating entire enemy encampments through stealth and guerrilla tactics. While many of his exploits are cloaked in myth, his ability to operate independently and achieve results that entire regiments might struggle to accomplish has made him a revered figure among the Guard. In the realm of Commissars, Commissar Chiaphas Kane stands out as both an enigma and a hero. Known for his self-deprecating humor and apparent preference for survival over glory, Kane nonetheless repeatedly found himself in the thick of battle, where his actions earned him the title Hero of the Imperium. Though Kane often portrayed himself as a reluctant participant in his own legend, his ability to inspire troops and his knack for surviving impossible situations ensured his place in the annals of the Guard. Accompanied by his loyal aide, the Jurgen, Kane's exploits provide a lighter, albeit no less heroic, perspective on the grim realities of war. Among the countless psychers who have served the Guard, Primaris psycher Gideon Lore is a standout figure. Known for his ability to channel the warp's power with precision and discipline, Lore played a critical role in battles where conventional weapons failed. His psychic prowess allowed him to turn the tide of engagements, whether by shielding regiments from enemy fire or unleashing devastating psychic attacks against the Imperium's foes. However, like all psychers, Lore's service was fraught with peril, as the dangers of warp corruption and demonic possession were constant threats. On the super-heavy battlefields of the Imperium, Knight Commander Pask is a name synonymous with armored warfare. As the most decorated tank commander in the Guard's history, Pask's mastery of the Lehman Russ battle tank has become legendary. Serving with the Armageddon Steel Legion, Pask has repeatedly demonstrated an uncanny ability to exploit his tank's strengths and his enemy's weaknesses. His exploits during the battles for Armageddon, where he faced down orc warlords and chaos incursions, have made him an icon among tank crews across the galaxy. Another iconic figure is Severina Rain, a commissar whose personal tragedy and iron resolve define her approach to leadership. Rain's story is one of loss and redemption, as she channels her grief into unshakable loyalty to the Emperor and the Imperium. Her ability to inspire troops in the darkest moments, coupled with her tactical acumen, ensures that her regiments stand firm even against overwhelming odds. The Astra Militarum has also produced countless unsung heroes, soldiers who rose to prominence through acts of individual bravery. Troopers like Minka Lesk, a young Cadian who stepped into leadership during the chaos of the 13th Black Crusade, exemplify the indomitable spirit of the Guard's rank and file. Lesk's actions in rallying her comrades and holding critical positions highlight the importance of ordinary soldiers in the Guard's countless victories. The Imperial Guard, vast and labyrinthine, is not only defined by its scale and diversity, but also by the countless secrets and mysteries that permeate its existence. As a cornerstone of the Imperium's war machine, the Guard is bound by layers of bureaucracy, propaganda, and doctrine that often obscure the truths behind its operations. These hidden aspects, spanning from ancient traditions to whispered conspiracies, reveal a shadowy undercurrent beneath the surface of the Astra Militarum's grim reality. One of the most enduring mysteries of the Guard is the true nature of its recruitment and planetary tithes. While it is publicly known that each world is required to raise regiments as part of their tithe to the Imperium, the scale and frequency of these demands are shrouded in secrecy. Some worlds are drained of entire generations, leaving behind ghost towns and destabilized economies. On others, only specific individuals are taken, those deemed genetically or physically superior. The Departamento Munitorum, the bureaucratic arm of the Guard, deliberately obfuscates the quotas and criteria for these tithes, ensuring that planetary governors remain compliant but uninformed about the broader strategies driving recruitment. This veil of secrecy ensures the Guard's continued strength but leaves many worlds in the dark, fueling speculation and fear. Another enigma lies in the treatment and purpose of abhuman regiments. while sanctioned abumans like ogrins, ratlings, and beastmen are integrated into the Guard. Their presence raises questions about the Imperium's strict doctrines of genetic purity. Ogrins, prized for their brute strength, are often sent into the deadliest combat zones, leading to rumors that they are used as expendable shock troops. Similarly, ratlings, known for their sharpshooting skills, are frequently regarded with suspicion by their fellow guardsmen due to their cunning and insular nature. The exact policies governing abhuman recruitment and their broader role in the Imperium remain classified, suggesting that their use is a pragmatic but uncomfortable compromise by the Imperium's leaders. The origins of certain regiments also remain shrouded in mystery. The Death Corps of Krieg, for example, are known for their fanatical devotion and willingness to endure unimaginable hardships. However, the true history of Krieg, a planet devastated by nuclear war as a result of rebellion, raises uncomfortable questions about the ethical boundaries of the Imperium. The Departamento Munitorum's role in fostering the regiment's culture of self-sacrifice, often at the cost of millions of lives, is a closely guarded secret. The Death Corps are treated as tools of attrition, deployed in campaigns that others cannot or will not endure. The lack of transparency surrounding their training and conditioning fuels speculation about the lengths to which the Imperium will go to ensure compliance. The Commissariat, a pillar of discipline within the Guard, is also a source of intrigue. Commissars are tasked with maintaining morale and enforcing loyalty, often through executions or extreme measures. However, their authority extends beyond the battlefield, with many holding the power to override regimental commanders. The selection process for commissars and the training they undergo in the Schola Progenium are veiled in secrecy. It is said that the most promising candidates are subjected to grueling psychological conditioning, instilling an unwavering faith in the Emperor while suppressing any traces of personal ambition or doubt. This conditioning, while effective, raises concerns about the potential for abuse of power or the loss of individuality among these fearsome enforcers. The role of sanctioned psychers within the Guard is another source of unease. These individuals wield the warp's dangerous energies, providing critical support in battle through psychic abilities. However, their use is fraught with peril, as even the slightest misstep can result in catastrophic warp breaches or demonic possession. The Adeptus Astra Telepathica tightly controls the selection and training of these psychers, but the fate of those who fail to meet their standards remains unknown. Rumors persist of psychers who are deemed too unstable being quietly executed or used as sacrifices to fuel the Astronomicon. The secrecy surrounding their deployment and the heavy inquisitorial oversight they attract further deepen the mystery. The Departamento Munitorum itself, the administrative engine of the Astra Militarum, is a black box of inefficiency and hidden agendas. While its role in supplying and organizing the Guard is publicly acknowledged, its inner workings are so convoluted that even senior officers struggle to navigate its bureaucracy. Accusations of corruption, embezzlement, and resource mismanagement are widespread, but investigations into these matters rarely see the light of day. Some whisper that the Munitorum's inefficiencies are deliberate, a means of controlling the Guard's power by ensuring it remains dependent on the wider Imperium. Another closely guarded secret is the true extent of regimental losses. Official propaganda often portrays the Guard as an unbreakable force, downplaying the devastating casualties suffered in many campaigns. The Munitorum meticulously edits reports to present a narrative of inevitable victory, masking the reality that some regiments are annihilated entirely. In cases where planets are entirely lost to Xenos or Chaos forces, their regiments are quietly erased from the records, their sacrifices unacknowledged to maintain morale across the Imperium. Finally, the Guard's dealings with the Inquisition are a source of constant speculation and fear. While the Guard is often called upon to assist the Ordo Hereticus, Ordo Xenos, and Ordo Malleus in their purges, these collaborations frequently involve classified operations. Regiments involved in such missions are rarely the same afterward, with survivors often relocated or subjected to mind wipes to erase knowledge of what they encountered. The secrecy surrounding these missions hints at the horrors the Imperium seeks to hide from its citizens, from the spread of chaos cults to the discovery of forbidden Xenos artifacts. The story of the Astra Militarum, the Imperial Guard, is a testament to the resilience, sacrifice, and unyielding determination of humanity in the face of a galaxy that seeks its extinction. Across countless battlefields, under suns that will never rise again, and in the shadows of towering hive cities, the guardsmen of the Imperium have stood as the bulwark against annihilation. Yet their legacy is more than just a chronicle of battles fought and lives lost. It is the embodiment of the Imperium's enduring spirit. In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, where hope is a fleeting whisper and despair is a constant shadow, the Guard serves as a reminder of humanity's tenacity. They are not superhumans or divine beings. They are ordinary men and women, drawn from every corner of the Imperium, united by a shared purpose. Whether wielding a humble lasgun, piloting a Lehman Russ tank, or commanding regiments against insurmountable odds, each guardsman plays a part in the vast machinery of war that sustains the Imperium. The cost of this service is staggering. Entire regiments vanish in the crucible of war, their names etched only in forgotten records or whispered legends. Planets that raised and supported them are drained of resources, sometimes of life itself. For every victory the Guard secures, there are countless sacrifices, entire worlds burned, and untold billions lost. Yet the Imperium endures, and it does so because of the Astra Militarum's unwavering resolve. The legacy of the Imperial Guard is not found in the grandiose monuments erected on Terra or the praises sung by ecclesiarchy priests. It is found in the battered and bloodied survivors, in the tales of heroism told by campfires on distant battlefields, and in the indomitable spirit of soldiers who know that their lives are a shield against the darkness. They may not be remembered as individuals, but their collective efforts shape the fate of the galaxy. The future of the Astra Militarum is uncertain, as is the fate of the Imperium itself. Yet if there is one certainty, it is that the Guard will fight on. They will march to war on distant worlds, their banners held high, their faith in the Emperor unshaken. They will continue to endure, to adapt, and to sacrifice because they must. In a galaxy where survival is victory, they are the last best hope of humanity. The Astra Militarum is more than an army. It is a reflection of the Imperium's soul. It is imperfect, brutal, and often cruel, yet it is also resilient, courageous, and determined. Through their blood and their lives, the guardsmen of the Imperium affirm that humanity, though fragile and flawed, is worth saving. In the end, their story is the story of the Imperium itself, a tale of struggle, sacrifice, and the unyielding will to endure in the face of eternal darkness.